Okay, gentlemen, I am back. I've decided to switch to 1080p for this part of the video since I want to give you my opinion, my feelings on this case with the actual phone in the case instead of the dummy phone in the case. I'm impressed. I would call this case legitimately water resistant. I would not call it waterproof, but I would call it water resistant. It does appear to compress to the point where the rubber seals around these openings do appear to actually be effective. They actually do compress, so I think they are sealing. Same thing with the camera ones on the back. I believe they are compressing enough to actually say it's sealing. You can see they're actually quite a bit thicker than that, and they compress down, so it's actually sealing against the glass around the LED and the camera lens. And I figured out the hole on the bottom. It's the stylus hole. How does it seal? Get this. It seals with the stylus. You take the stylus out, and you'll notice it's a pretty firm fit. See this little ring on the inside here? That ring seals around this ring on the stylus right there. So it actually does create a seal and give you access to your stylus. I'm impressed. That's ingenious, actually. Everything appears to function. I've made phone calls with it, and they sound fine to me. I sound fine to them. They are a little, the volume on my end is a little lower. So, I just turn on the volume boost for, that's built into the phone, and it works fine. I can hear just fine, no problems. They can hear me just fine. Even when I covered this hole before I realized that the stylus was made to fill that hole, I would cover this hole, and they had no difference hearing me, so the sound is getting through the mics just fine. The audio from the phone is dramatically degraded in volume, but not quality. It actually sounds slightly better, not quite as tinny, but with dramatically lower volume. The stylus does block a little more of that, but not by much. Take the stylus out, you get a better sound, but it's listenable. It's good enough. I'm happy. It doesn't make it sound like crap. Every single hole appears to be sealed. There is something in the hole for the infrared. I am wondering if whatever is in that hole is infrared transmissive. But see, it looks like I can see through it. See how you can see silver there? So I'm not sure if that's actually sealed. That concerns me. So I would probably just fill that hole. Get like a, they make little plugs for plugging headphone jacks. I would get something like that and just plug the hole. And so a little bit of it would stick out so you could pop it off whenever you want to use the IR. I mean, you're going to have to accept compromises when you want water resistance. Power button feels great. I have no problems using it. Volume up feels great. Volume down is non-functional. Period. Does not work no matter how hard or where I push. I don't know why. The next time I take this apart, I'm going to try to figure that out. The touchscreen works fine. So now what I do is I just push up, and then I can volume down from there. So up works fine. Down does not work at all. I'm thinking there might be something missing on the inside. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out, see if I can tell what's up with that. I'll update with another video if I figure something out. Your headphone jack access. Home button works great. No problems with the home button. Oh, my auto light sensor is being tricked. Turn auto brightness off. I do like that it gives you a little bit of extra room on the top here. It actually goes up past the top edge of the screen a little bit, so you can actually get to the top edge of the screen to do your pull down. It's not perfect, of course, but it's there. It works. It's hard to do through a camera. These buttons work. They're a little hard to use. You have to push them pretty hard to actually make them do anything. But they do work. It does bring up your menus. It does allow you to go back. And keeps it waterproof. I tighten all the screws down lightly, and then I slowly, inside, outside, tighten them up until they're tight all the way. And I don't perceive any warping. Case appears to be holding integrity. I would prefer some more screws. I would like to see 2 more screws here, 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 and here, just to get a better, so this doesn't warp, so this doesn't bend. I was concerned about drops at first because of the rigidness of this case, but then I realized the phone is fully encased in this rubber on the inside. So even if this does hit the edge hard, the phone is fully encased in a pretty damn thick layer of rubber. This is a rugged case. I would call this heavy-duty rugged. Water-resistant, heavy-duty rugged. I'm impressed. This is obviously to allow NFC to work, to allow wireless to work. It does degrade signal a little bit. I notice I don't get 4G in the house anymore. 3G seems fine. Wi-Fi seems fine. But I noticed I wasn't getting 4G. I'll try to confirm that later. It's a bit pain, you gotta unscrew it, 6 screws, and take this thing apart to get the phone out of here, so it's a bit of a pain to swap back and forth, but I will try that. See if I can confirm if the case is actually affecting 4G. Clarity is great. Responsiveness of the touchscreen is great. I have no problems. The screen feels different. They say it's Gorilla Glass, but it's a different texture. It's stickier. Not sticky. Not as smooth. Like the difference between a lightly polished car and a highly polished car. Almost like the difference between veneer, wood veneer, which is very smooth, and a polished glass table, which is really smooth. This feels more like veneer. It's not quite as slick as the stock screen. I would not call that good or bad. Just different. It doesn't appear to affect my ability to use the device. It doesn't appear to affect usability. It seems fine. It's just different. No big deal. Overall, I'm impressed. I like it. It does push the limit of size. It is big with this case. I mean, the height doesn't change much, but the width in your hand, it destroys any semblance of single-handed operation. Forget it. You're not using it single-handed. Done. Don't even think about it. That's it. You're going to have to use 2 hands unless you put it down on something like this. It's just too big. I have ginormous hands. And even my gigantic hands can't get around this. Can't keep fingers on a side. And see, I have to pull my fingers out to get even to the middle of the screen. So any semblance of one-handed operation is gone. But that's what this case is for. This case is to be rugged. This case is to protect your phone. That's its job. So you're gonna compromise. You're gonna give up some things in order to get that. I would like to see this case in orange. I would buy another one if I can get this case in orange. So, anybody know how to contact these guys and ask them about an orange one? Please? Maybe I'll see if I can get this repainted. It looks like it's just I don't know if it's a lacquer paint or if it's powder coated. Maybe I can get a guy to put it in with a batch of other stuff and powder coat it for me. But I want this in orange really bad. This would look good in orange. So I'm going to use this case for a while. I'm going to give this a long-term test, and I will come back later with an updated review based on how my usage has occurred and what I think of it and how usable it is and practical it is. I will not be testing this underwater. Sorry, I am not willing to risk my phone, even though I do have insurance with a very low deductible. I am not a fan of abusing things like that. I will, however, put this one up for a guinea pig since it's fake. I'll put some tissue paper. I'll layer the back of this with tissue paper, maybe the front of it with tissue paper. And you can't test this without a phone in it. I think the phone adds to some of the rigidity of the case. I think if you were to put paper in this without the phone inside, it would be an invalid test because it would not be properly sealing here or here or here. I'm going to have to plug this since the stylus on the fake one is not removable. So I'm going to have to manually plug that, and I'm just going to have to assume that functions correctly. Go from there. I will be back.